Hey cuties! So today I am going to be discussing my time or experience I had at the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas, the city of dreams and lights and casinos and love. No, it's not the city of love. More like lust, not personally. Anyways, lusting for that dollar bill. Cha-ching, woo, I want big. Okay, that was a little Vegas experience. Okay, so recently my mom, my dad, my boyfriend and I all went to Vegas, and we weren't like planning a trip to go to Vegas. It wasn't like, ooh, let's go to Vegas on these dates. It was, we were in Palm Springs and California. We traveled all throughout California, and we were on our way home. We drove back to my city in Canada. So yes, it was a long drive, but on our way home, we decided to stop in at Vegas because A, it was on our way home, B, it took 4.5 hours off of our trip to home, and C, because I love Vegas, my mom loves Vegas, and finally, because my boyfriend has never been to Vegas. So we thought, why not just like spend a night in Vegas? I wouldn't recommend doing Vegas in one night if it's your first time. If you've been there before, then yeah, Vegas is great for a night, but there's so much to do there that you really want a few nights. Having said that, that has nothing to do with this experience. So my dad looked at all the hotels in Vegas on the Strip, and we had stayed in previous hotels before. In Vegas, I've probably stayed on maybe 2 or 3 hotels on the actual Strip in Vegas, and they were gorgeous. And this was my first time staying in the Luxor. Now, before anything, I want to say, if you love the Luxor, if the Luxor's like your thing, then do that. And that's good for you. I'm just telling you guys my experience I had at the Luxor. So my dad booked the room and we were on our way. So he booked it 2 days in advance, and he printed out the confirmation sheet because that's just how he rolls, and it's a good thing to do. So then we went to Vegas. We pulled into the waiting area while my mom and my dad both went to go check in, and my boyfriend and I stayed in the car. And the first thing I noticed was how gorgeous the Luxor is. It's the pyramid. If you are unfamiliar with Vegas, or if you're not sure, it's just a big tall pyramid. Chris Angel performs in there, and there's a beam of light that comes out the top of it. So you probably know what the Luxor is now. I noticed right away the outside is gorgeous. Like, there are Egyptian things and statues and gorgeous details and things that looked like my cat, because he's a hairless cat. So I was just like, oh my god, my cat. And my boyfriend right away noticed how poorly, how do I put this, kept the hotel was, just the actual hotel, like the pyramid itself. Like, if you looked up close at each little, I don't know what it is, like windows or panels or something that creates the big pyramid, they were falling apart. A lot of them were just ripped completely off. And I do agree that it does take probably time and effort to keep that in upkeep, but it looked sort of raggedy up close. Like, from far away, it's gorgeous, but from being up close there, you could tell that there was a lot of wear and tear on the actual pyramid. My dad checked in, and it took about 25 minutes. We were waiting in the car for it, and I said, should I go in there? Like, what is happening? Why is it taking so long? And we went there on a Wednesday, so it's not like it was like a Friday or Saturday night, so I thought it would be quite easy to check in. And my mom came out, and the first thing she said was, I hate this hotel. And I thought that was quite rude, and I told her, and we got actually in a fight. I told her to stop being ungrateful because we're in Vegas, and even if we were staying in a box, like, you should be thankful for life and having the experience in Vegas, in my opinion. Like, I'm just so thankful for so much. And I just didn't like that she didn't even walk up to the room yet, and she was already bitching. Like, it really hurt me because my dad, you know, spent the time to do this for us for one night. And we got into a fight about it or whatever. And then my dad told us why. And when they went up there, the guy at the counter was quite rude to my dad. And my dad is like the nicest person ever. My mom can be a little woo like me, but my dad is like the nicest guy. So first of all, when they got there, they did not have my dad's reservation. They said, sorry, you're not here. And they went next, like that. Like, they didn't give him time to talk. They just went next over him, and he went, I booked this 2 days ago. My card was charged and I paid you guys the money. The guy went, okay, I'll look it up again. So he looks it up again, there was nothing. So my dad luckily printed out the confirmation sheet and had to go in his bag and find it, and found it. And then the guy went, oh, sorry, it was my mistake. I was looking under the wrong category, which is fine, but if it's your mistake, you shouldn't be rude like that and go, oh, whatever, next. So then they were searching for the hotel, they found it, and my dad said to him, we get Wi-Fi with that as well, right? Which is internet. If you're not sure, it's wireless internet. And the guy said, no, it's a $28 charge for our Wi-Fi. And I'm saying that really precisely because my mom and dad were both standing there. My dad is a computer guy, that's what he does for a living, so he would have never misheard this. They said that the Wi-Fi was charged $28 extra. And my dad said, I have already paid the $28 extra. And the guy said, no, you haven't. And my dad's like, yeah, I have. It's right here. He had his reservation. It said Wi-Fi charge plus $28, and the total was underneath. And the guy spun around his computer, like got real mad and bitchy, and spun around his computer and said, look, there's no extra charge, it says 0. My dad was like, yeah, it says 0 because I already paid it. Here you go, here it is. My dad does not want a confrontation, so he just went, okay, I'll pay it again. So he paid $60 for the Wi-Fi. So then the guy was kind of in a bitchy mood then, so he said, you know, extra pillows are free, you know. Like, as in that he thought my dad was like complaining about money or worried about money because they had already charged him $28 and he had to pay it again. So that, I thought that was quite rude because my parents are well set off, and even if they were poor, rich, middle class, any type of person, why would you just say that? Oh, pillows are free, you know? Like, wow. I just think that's quite rude, and I'm just so glad that I wasn't up there with my parents, because that is, you don't be rude to somebody like that. If you're having a bad day, have a bad day on your own time. You don't need to bring it into my time, because this is my time. It's Vegas. So my dad now paid $60 for the Wi-Fi, and that's all good and said and done. My dad said, can we get one of those carts that you take up to your room, because we have a ton of luggage that we need to bring up. And the guy said that they are an extra charge. They're not, you can't just take them. Like, first of all, what even is that? Is that all hotels in Vegas, or is that just Luxor? We weren't sure, but we thought that was weird and ridiculous. And the guy said, and also there's nobody to bring up your luggages right now also. Like, he didn't even check. He was just like, there's nobody there to bring up your luggage anyway. So we weren't allowed to have one of these, and it was extra charge anyway. So we were just like, cool, we'll walk. We took 4 trips and 4 people. Well, one time Dalton didn't come because he had a bad headache. So we had 3 different people, 4 different times, bringing up different items because we weren't allowed to use the rolly cart. What is it called? Like a dolly or something? I don't know. So let me say this, and having somebody with bad customer service isn't really saying anything about the hotel. A lot of people would say it is, but in my opinion, it isn't. Because I worked in retail. You guys probably, some of you, most of you probably have, or even a restaurant or anything like that. If somebody comes into the store and they get a bad experience from your employee, and you're over here doing your own thing and being real nice to the customer, and your friend over there is being really mean to him behind the till, and then the guy says, you know, Sears is the worst customer service ever. And I don't like that, because if you would have came through my till, I would have been really nice to you. And you can't just judge one person who works there's attitude in that, like, you know, Burger King is the worst customer service ever, because it might just be that one person. But this guy really did not make our entrance to the Luxor, you know, enjoyable or welcoming, I guess. We get to our hotel. The floor when we walked in, or the rug, was soaking wet. My mom noticed it right away. I didn't notice it because I walked in with my shoes on. I was just dumping off bags and going back and grabbing bags. But my mom actually walked around and said that the floor is soaking wet. And I felt it, and it was soaking. Like, I put my hand in and like water came up over my hands. And I smelled it and I was like, oh my God, that frickin' stinks. That was just one thing. We weren't gonna really spend too much time in our hotel room because we were obviously gonna go eat and walk the strip, but still, I mean, you're paying for a room. It shouldn't be like sopping wet floors and like real gross like that. The bathroom was very, very nice in our hotel. It had a big walk-in shower. It was very clean, and the bathroom was an A+. The beds were very comfy. There was no quilt on either of the beds. It was just sheets, so we thought that was weird as well. There was a weird smell in the room. The furniture was all scratched up and falling apart. And then I was getting ready for the night, so I was picking out my outfit, and Dalton was trying to connect the Wi-Fi on his iPhone. And he said the Wi-Fi has been connecting for probably 20 minutes and it's not connected. So I was like, let me try. And I found it. I found the Luxor Wi-Fi. There was no password on it. And we paid $60 for this password, and it's free? Question mark? Like, it's free. We didn't have to pay any, but my dad gave you guys $60 extra. So it's not connecting the free Wi-Fi either. So I phoned down to the front desk. I phoned down and I am on a waiting list. I'm legit on a waiting list. It's like, press 1 for blankets, press 2, or whatever it was. I didn't have time. I was like, cool, like it should just be like front desk, hello. I do get that they have a lot of rooms, right? So they have to have that, but it was weird, and I'll tell you why it's weird in a second. So I finally get there and I say, what is the password for the Wi-Fi? And she said, it is an open network. You don't need a password, it's free. And I said, well, how come we paid $28 and then you guys didn't believe us, so we had to pay $28 again, so we paid $60 for this internet and it's free already. And she said, oh, that's wired internet. That's your little cable thing. And I was like, what? We said Wi-Fi to you. That's not Wi-Fi, that's wired internet. We paid $60 for a wire to hook up. And I said, okay, but we don't have that on our iPhones. It's connection. So how are we supposed to use that internet? And she went, oh, okay, well that sucks. That's what she said. That sucks. I wasn't even gonna ask about a refund because we didn't even care at that point. We were over it at that point. And my dad put it perfectly, like anything to make money off of you, they will do at that hotel. Ratchet. So anyways, we get everything together and I say, okay, well, how come the wireless internet that's free is not working, or the Wi-Fi is not working? And she said, oh, it won't be up for visitors at our hotel until tomorrow afternoon. Cool, we're leaving at 4 a.m. So we're not gonna even be here. It was just, oh my God. And I said, really, it's not gonna work at all? So it's not a big deal that we didn't have internet because we're in Vegas, but still we paid $60 for absolutely zero internet because when my dad went to go find the cord to plug in for the wireless on his laptop, it didn't have it and they didn't give it to us and we were completely over it. So while we were all fed up and everything, we decided to shrug everything off and not worry about it. So then I was trying to figure out what show we wanted to see. We ended up didn't seeing a show, but the one that we did want to see was in Caesar's Palace. Caesar's, I said that weird, Caesar's Palace. Caesar's Palace, and I Googled it and found the phone number for Caesar's Palace, the front desk, and I phoned down to ask, like, I just was asking a question about the show. So when I phoned, guess how much it took to answer the call? One ring. One ring and they answered it and it was a person. It took one ring, it was a person, and they were really nice and asked me what I needed, and I said about the show, and she transferred me and said have a great day and transferred me. Just like that. That's how a hotel should be. It shouldn't be like, you know, 5 rings and then give an automatic message and press 1 for this, press 2 for this, and you're on hold for so long. No, Caesar's Palace does it right. Thumbs up for Caesar's Palace. And I wasn't even staying there and they answered it right away and were super sweet. So even though, that's why I said I'll come back to it, even though there's a ton of rooms in the Luxor, you know, Caesar's Palace still answered their phone right away and they have a ton of rooms as well. So that was basically my experience of the Luxor. I will not be a returning customer of the Luxor. It wasn't like horrible or anything like that because it was still, you know, a hotel and it was in Vegas and nice. Just the overall atmosphere and how things looked and how things were like falling apart and such. All the other hotels, when you walked up, they smiled, they said, how are you doing and such. These people just had like bitchy, sour looks on their faces. Most of them, like obviously there were the couple people who were very nice and probably very helpful, but just the majority of people and the hotel being just not nice. Like I just didn't really like the Luxor. It just was not nice compared to all the other hotels on the Strip. I would much rather stay in the Aria, Cosmo, New York, MGM, Trump, like all those are very gorgeous hotels, and I just thought so highly about the Luxor, and when I went there, I'm glad I did stay there because I'm glad I got to see that it wasn't a great hotel. So we spend most of our time on the Strip and not actually at the Luxor, so walking around, like hotels are gorgeous inside and there are so many things to do inside. And then we went back to the Luxor. The casino to me seemed just like a casino back at home, like in Saskatoon, Canada, where I live. It was just kind of like, ooh, a casino. It wasn't that loud, it wasn't that flashy. So if you like that kind of thing, then that's where you need to stay. But like the other hotels, such as, you know, the MGM, the casino, sorry, are like loud and there's so many and it's vibrant and everything like that. It wasn't like that on the Luxor. It didn't really seem like Vegas. If you're wanting a true Vegas experience, the Luxor is not the way to go in my opinion. Everyone also has other opinions as well. Caesar's Palace to me is the way to go. We went to the buffet there and it was phenomenal. The people there were phenomenal and the architecture was gorgeous. Like I said, I did love the Luxor's architecture outside. Like the statues were so nice and so well kept. And also when you go up to your room at the Luxor, when you look over the balcony, it's beautiful. Like you can see all the rooms in a triangle. That was gorgeous and I will never doubt that because I saw it and I was just blown away because it's very, very pretty and cute, but the hotel in general just wasn't really Vegas to me. It just seemed kind of like merp and run down. What, do you have any thoughts on the Luxor?
The Luxor?
That's your only thought?
Need I say more?
Nobody really liked the Luxor at our stay, but if you guys have had a good stay with the Luxor, I would love to know. If you had a bad stay at the Luxor, or maybe had similar thoughts to me, I would also like to know, because I love to know your guys' opinions and what you have to say. So I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have a great day. And yes, our time in Vegas all around was pretty good, even though it was very short. We couldn't really do much. We just walked the strip and really ate supper, because we had to be up at 4 a.m. to make our journey to Butte, Montana, and then Butte, Montana to home. So that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys. On the wall, there was all this Pussycat doll stuff, and I went, what? And I turned around, and there was a stage behind me, and my boobs look huge right now. What even is this?